Have you ever been walking down the street with your best bro, and while you're walking you accidentally touch hands? You think to yourself, that was weird, but I'm not gay. You are. You are gay.
Here we go again. Another Marvel Cinematic Universe property that's going to be coming out focusing on your fifis and gender identity politics. You would have thought they were done with this, but it looks like they're going to keep on rolling on that good old-fashioned MCU train. We're about to talk about it a little bit, but before we go too deep into the video, make sure that you like the video, share the video, subscribe if you want to, and if you don't do all three of those things, I'm going to make sure that when they reboot the MCU, that Doom is going to be played by Brie Larson, and Mr. Fantastic is going to be played by Rachel Zegler.
Yeah. Weird.
Now let's get into it. I don't know if you saw the news or not, but we're starting to get some interviews and tidbits about the Fantastic Four movie. The Fantastic Four have been getting done dirty in Hollywood. They had 2 mediocre films and 1 film that shall never be named ever again. Let's not even talk about it, look about it, think about it. Anything like that. Fan4stick was god awful. So with the MCU finally having the rights to the Fantastic Four, we thought that we would finally get a good rendition of these characters. They are Marvel's first family and it's a lot of people's favorite characters, mine included. I really love the Fantastic Four. So when I saw they cast Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, my first thought was you could have picked literally anybody, but okay, he's gonna play Reed fine. Vanessa Kirby's gonna play Sue Storm, pretty good casting. Joseph Quinn, that's pretty good casting. Eben Moss-Bachrach, he's a good actor. You wanna know what's crazy? The first time I saw him, and every time I think about him, is from that movie Stealth from like way back in the early 2000s. So generally good casting, nothing could go wrong, right?
Oh man, oh God, oh man, oh God, oh man.
Yeah, you remember the one time they had the female Silver Surfer in that one panel of that one comic book? The MCU said, you know what, we're gonna grab that rendition of the Silver Surfer instead of Norrin Radd, you know, the one everybody thinks about. That should have been red flag number 1. But here come the other red flags. It's starting to get a little dicey here. I'm starting to see some images of Captain Marvel, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, The Eternals, all those other movies that Marvel has released. But let's start with Johnny Storm. Even if you've never picked up a comic book a day in your life, you know who Johnny Storm is. The Human Torch, one of the most powerful heroes in all of Marvel Comics. And he's very charismatic, he's a ladies' man, he's a charmer. Most people's first introduction to that character was 2005's Fantastic Four with Chris Evans, and not gonna lie, he did a really good job in that role. He embodied the character, and that's who Johnny Storm is. So of course the MCU is gonna throw that completely out the window and go with a different rendition of Johnny Storm. This is from Joseph Quinn, the actor for Johnny Storm, talking to Entertainment Weekly, and this is what he said. Listen to this shit.
He was branded as this womanizing devil-may-care guy, but is that sexy these days?
Fuck.
I don't think so. This version of Johnny is less callous with other people's feelings, and hopefully there's a self-awareness about what's driving that attention-seeking behavior.
Man, I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
In other words, we know who the character is, we know what people like, we know that females go to these movies to look at the males and objectify them because that's why Aquaman made $1 billion, but we're not going to do that. We want to be more mature than everybody else, and we're going to make him not a ladies' man, we're going to make him soft and talk about his feelings.
Oh, nigga, you gay.
What are you doing? That's completely the opposite of what the character is. I don't understand this fascination of taking characters that's established and saying, you know what? I see what works. I see what people like. I see how it's done well. I'm gonna throw that shit out the window. We're gonna do something completely different. Kevin Feige and everybody over there at Marvel Studios, I don't know when they're gonna get it through their thick skull that if you just adapt the comics that have kept that company afloat for 70 plus years, maybe you could do something, you know, maybe that makes sense. But as my grandma liked to say, if common sense was common, it would just be called sense. But let's move on to the Invisible Woman. Vanessa Kirby, she is a great actress. I first saw her in Mission Impossible Fallout, one of the best action movies of all time, by the way. And in anything else I've seen her in, she's done a fantastic job.
Say that again?
No.
And she looks like Invisible Woman, by the way. So of course, she's gonna make sure that she pays homage to this character, and she does it well. There's no way she's gonna take this strong female character in every sense of the word, a feminine character that is still strong enough and powerful enough to whoop your ass, and bring her down a notch to, oh, she needs to be emotionally intelligent. She is the mother of all these people. She's a symbol. Let's see what Vanessa Kirby had to say.
One of the things I love most from Sue's history is when she becomes Malice and all of her dark stuff comes out.
Whoa, let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. Why are you already starting with Malice? That's not something that you should go forward with at the beginning of the Fantastic Four. That's like something you would do at the end of a trilogy. The same with Franklin Richards. Those two things are not something that you should just be throwing at the audience in your very first movie.
I was obsessed with that chapter of her life, so I wanted to make sure that there were tones of malice in there with her, that she wasn't just a stereotype of a goody, sweet mother. I've always been really interested in the mess of femininity, and how can you be both? How can you be all the things? Not just the tough, invincible, powerful woman, but also a mother who gives birth, which is itself a superhero act.
You really don't need to worry about all that stuff because that's who the character is. Like, you're trying to pick things that are her character out and say, oh, I want to focus on that. I want to focus on this, when everything you just listed is embodying the whole character. That's what makes her the character. So going, oh, we need her to be a political leader, not just a maternal figure and all these other things. It's like you're making it too complicated. All right, we don't need to be talking about our feelings. She doesn't need to be going through the dark times and all that. This is the Invisible Woman, a powerful superhero. Work with that. Stop trying to imprint all this other crap into it. And then she starts talking about Reed Richards, saying if he is the most scientifically intelligent person, then she is the most emotionally intelligent person on the planet. You see what I mean? Like, why are they doing that? Oh, look at me, I'm a woman, hear me roar. Rah! Like, we know who the Invisible Woman is. Stop trying to make her some kind of symbol more than she already is. It's just unnecessary. You don't need to focus on that kind of stuff. It's going to turn your audience off. They're going to think that you're doing another Marvels. They're going to think you're doing another Captain Marvel, another Scarlet Witch in Multiverse of Madness. They're thinking you're going to take these characters, you're going to make Johnny Storm effeminate, you're going to make Invisible Woman some powerful girl boss, when you don't need to do all that when you have the comics that are showing you they're already good characters. We don't need all the extra bullshit.
Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is? Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. That is crazy.
All in all, it's really annoying that we keep going down this road. You want to talk about killing momentum in less than a week. I was looking forward to this movie because I like the 60s aesthetic with the Fantastic Four. That's the time period that they belong into. We were finally going to see a comic accurate Galactus. All these other things had me excited, and then you see a feminine male girl boss. I'm done. You've lost me. Especially in a month full of heavy hitters, man. You got Jurassic Park coming back. You already know that film is gonna make $1 billion. You're stacked up against Superman, one of the most anticipated films of the entire year, and you're gonna come out here on your little press tour and talk about your fucking feelings. That's not gonna get butts in seats. That's gonna make people go, oh, I'll just wait a few months for it to come on to Disney Plus. And it's not like you're in good water right now, Marvel. You just had the flop of Captain Clarence Come and Go. Nobody even remembers that film. And you have Thunderbolts, which admittedly looks better than I thought it did a couple months ago, but we know that's not gonna make a big splash at the box office. And then right after the Fantastic Four, you have Ironheart of all shows coming out, which you know is gonna put you in some heat. So why would you come out with this MCU bullshit talking about your feelings and an effeminate Johnny Storm? That doesn't work. They just keep shooting themselves in the foot for no reason whatsoever, and I, for the life of me, just don't understand it. You have all the source material in the world, you have all the money in the world, you can get all these great actors, writers, directors, everything, but you keep going back to the identity politics, which has crushed your brand for the last 5 years. Insanity is doing the exact same thing and expecting different results. And these niggas at Marvel Studios are insane if they think that they could just keep going the identity politics route and things are just gonna work out eventually. Y'all let me know what you think down below. Do you think this is an interesting change for the characters? An effeminate Johnny Storm and a girl boss Mary Sue Invisible Woman? Let me know if you like that. And if you don't like that, also put that into the comments. But until next time, it's been your boy Kata. Y'all be easy. I will see you on the next one, man.